What's up, world? This is Salim with Flip for Figs, and welcome to episode 6 in my figure matchup series. Today we have the Jedi Deluxe Luke Skywalker versus the Snowtrooper, technically from Star Wars Battlefront, but I'm going to call it Empire Strikes Back. We'll be comparing head sculpt and details, as well as accessories and overall value for the money to see who comes out on top. Stay tuned to the end of this video to see who next week's figure matchup will be.
Flip for Figs.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.
Alright, in terms of sculpt and detail, I don't know what it is about this head sculpt, but I just feel like it's dead on Mark Hamill. I know a lot of people feel like Hot Toys has never correctly captured Mark Hamill, but I just feel like this looks just like him. I don't know if it's just me or not, but this specific head sculpt with this specific hair, I just feel like that's him. That's my boy. And what's funny is because we've since had like the Mandalorian Luke, and we had that Dark Empire Luke, and those are supposed to be kind of the newest techniques that Hot Toys offers, but they just don't look like Mark Hamill to me. And then even the Bespin Luke, that one is also good. I don't have that one yet. I plan to get it, the new, the DX24 or DX25. But yeah, I just feel like Hot Toys hit it out of the park. Obviously, the outfit is very simplistic, but it's tailored to him perfect. I love this little white flap right there. I just think it makes him look super cool for some reason. And yeah, the pleather boots, they're pleather. And then his belt is also pleather. And, this... I don't know how well these will hold up, but I don't live in a humid environment, so hopefully they'll hold up okay. But, I mean, overall, the sculpt work is really nice. And then there he is with the other head sculpt and the windswept hair, and it actually looks really good. I didn't love this head sculpt out of the box. I don't know, something about the nose, but now on the body and in this light, I think it looks really good. But I will eventually use this face for the Endor Luke, and so his face may be a little obscured with the helmet, but at least I'll be able to make use out of that head sculpt. And then there he is with the Jedi tabards on. Now, usually I love Jedi tabards, but for some reason these ones, I don't know, I think it's the color. They look more brown or like dark olive green to me than black, and you can see because his clothes underneath are black. So it's a cool look nonetheless, but I just prefer him with that flap down and, in that final Return of the Jedi look. And then there he is with the Endor look, which is how I hope to display these accessories. So I need to pick up another Luke eventually, but I really like the detail work on the helmet and the poncho. And then, yeah, this is like the extra scarf and glasses that come. I guess this is from a deleted scene. I haven't seen the deleted scene, but I would have preferred they just gave us his cloak, like, how he's wearing a hooded cloak when he goes to Jabba's palace. I think since they gave us his Jedi tabards, it would have made more sense to give us his cloak, but instead we got this thing, which I don't know if anyone is displaying their Luke this way, but out of all the display options in the box, this is my least favorite, just because I don't recognize it. But the scarf itself is nice quality and it's wired and everything like that. And then the glasses are pretty cool. Like I said, it looks like something more out of Dune than Star Wars to me, though. All right, sculpt and detail. So I think it looks awesome. It's a lot more beige than I thought. I thought that they were, all straight white. I didn't realize that they're actually like beige and white. So that was kind of a shock when I opened the box. I was like, oh no, is mine dirty? Even though it was brand new. But, it has since grown on me. I think that all white kind of wouldn't have been as interesting looking. I think that it looks really cool with the different two-tone. And it's weathered, which is nice. It looks like he's been, dirty and slush and grime and mud. And the helmet looks really cool. I didn't expect this, the mask, to be so thin. So this always makes me nervous because it feels like it could tear at any moment. And I guess they had to make it that way because it was like, if it was thicker, then it would have limited articulation. So I understand why they went by it, but with it, but I don't know, it makes me a little bit nervous how thin it is. But the rest of the armor is really solid and cool. The boots are sculpted plastic, so there's no pleather or anything like that you have to worry about. And yeah, I think he looks awesome. And so, in my opinion, the Snowtrooper wins Sculpt and Detail because even though Luke came with two head sculpts that both look like Mark Hamill, I just think this is such a unique look compared to everything else that we have in the collection. And so I love it. I gotta give Sculpt and Detail to the Snowtrooper. All right, so with Luke, this is everything you're going to get in the box. A lot of accessories. You're going to get several different outfits. You kind of get Luke's Jedi robes here. You also get the Endor poncho as well as the Endor helmet. You get this head, which is exclusive to the deluxe version, which is why I got this set. It's kind of like an open mouth expression with the windswept hair looking like he's fighting on the sail barge. And then you have this right here, which is shown on the box from a deleted scene, and it pairs with these little glasses here. I never even considered using that. This set also gave you an entire other lightsaber hilt for the swooshing effect blade, which is pretty cool because normally you only get one lightsaber hilt. And then you get the classic style kind of battery powered arm. You also get this blaster right here, and then you get some gloved hands and some ungloved hands, and then this really creepy one where you could see kind of his robotic hand underneath the skin. And seeing that in the movie always creeped me out when I was a kid. And then this is his standard outfit right here, which is how I have him displayed. And unfortunately, this set comes only with this display base, which is sandy. I guess they're trying to show you that, you know, they're the sail barge scene. And so for me, I have this Luke displayed in the throne room with Palpatine and Vader. So I ended up having to swap this base out with my Farm Boy Luke, and because that one has like the more Death Star base. This is the first Hot Toys figure that made me feel like I needed a little wardrobe closet to come with him, because he comes with so much stuff. Because you're essentially getting 3 figures worth of accessories in one. All right, now with the Snowtrooper, this is everything that you're going to get in the box. Well, not really, because I got the 2-pack, which if you didn't get the 2-pack and you just got the Snowtrooper by itself, then this is everything that comes in the box. So I'll show you that first, and then I'll show you what you would get with the 2-pack. You get this kind of backpack thing, which is magnetic, but it also has hooks if you prefer to use that. It comes with this, which hooks onto the back of his belt. I'm not really sure what it is. An E11 blaster, which is the same as you get with like Stormtroopers. And then you get a few different hands. You get like some trigger hands, which I have him displayed with, as well as some open palm ones and whatnot. And then you get a really nice snowy display base, which is actually just the same as the kind of sandy display base, but it's white. But it looks a lot better in white, I think. All right, now if you do get the 2-pack, obviously you get another Snowtrooper, but it's not just the same figure twice, because you actually get a dynamic flight pole, because you get this really cool jetpack. Now you only get one for one of the Snowtroopers, but you get this jetpack with the flame effects right there. You also get this awesome rifle here, and then you get this rocket launcher or bazooka, which is just really dope, and that's what I have him displayed with. And then you get an extra backpack, so 2 backpacks total, and then you obviously get extra hands as well. But yeah, so you actually get a lot more stuff if you get the 2-pack. It's not just 2 times the figure. So it's kind of really cool that they gave you extra accessories to kind of incentivize you to get the 2-pack versus just buying one at a time. Alrighty, so in terms of value for the money, you can't deny that this set is a good value, because you could still get it as kind of the standard price of a normal Hot Toys figure that's no longer available at retail, so between $350 and $400. And however, with that said, it's kind of like shopping at Costco or a warehouse store when you're only one person, because yes, it's a good deal and you get a bunch of stuff, but do you really need it all when you're just one person? And that's how I feel about this figure, because you only get one body, but yet you get 3 different outfits. And so, you know, I'm not going to complain about getting a lot of accessories, but I feel like all of this stuff just makes me feel like, okay, I really need a second body, which was my plan all along. When I bought this figure, I planned to just get an extra body, because at the time I had seen a couple on eBay for a good price. Those have since been long gone, and everything else I've seen is almost the same price as a standard Hot Toys Return of the Jedi Luke figure, which I don't need, right? Because I have a second head ready to go. I also have the Endor stuff because I really want to display an Endor Luke. So for me, I kind of not I had a little bit of buyer's remorse when I bought it because I figured I could have saved, $100 or $50 and then just bought the Endor Luke figure and had both the Return of the Jedi and the Endor Luke, and done without like this deleted scene kind of accessory pack, which I really don't need. So personally, this specific box set, I don't think it's a great value because you're just getting a bunch of extra clothes for Luke that you really can't use. So I don't think the value for the money is there. I don't know if that's a strong argument or not, but that's what I'm going with. All right, value for the money is a little tricky here for two reasons. Number one is I bought the 2-pack. So in my personal opinion, my value is going based off of the 2-pack. Now, the other reason that it's tricky is because I bought it aftermarket. I paid $1,100 for this Snowtrooper 2-pack, and it was actually like the third or fourth Hot Toys Star Wars figure that I bought, which is super bizarre because I was never a huge fan of Snowtroopers. It's not like, ever since I saw the movie, I just love them. Not even a little bit. I liked Scout Troopers ever since I was a kid, but Snowtroopers, I didn't really even remember them until I started getting Star Wars Lego, and then they came with like the Hoth sets. And for some reason or another, I saw that the Snowtroopers were really hard to find. And for me, if something is hard to find, it makes me want it even more. I think that's why I'm into collectibles. It's not a good habit to have, so I don't recommend it. But when I saw that they were really expensive and hard to find, I was like, okay, I know I had to have it. And so then I was like, let me just get one because I didn't even think I needed any. And now I don't need two, let me just get one. But then I watched reviews and saw that with the 2-pack, you got all these extra accessories. And so I decided to bite the bullet and buy the 2-pack. And so I don't think I'm a good person to talk to about value for the money because I paid, I think the 2-pack retailed originally for like $300 and I paid almost 4 times that amount with tax and shipping. But what's crazy is even with paying that much, I still feel like it's a good value. I know that makes me like sick in the head. In my opinion, I think this is great. It's a really, really cool look. We don't have a lot of figures from The Empire Strikes Back, especially from Hoth. And so it's, necessary to flesh out your kind of Empire Strikes Back or a Hoth setup. I know I'm nuts. I know it's crazy to say it, but I gotta give the Snowtroopers value for the money. I just think they're, if you bought them at retail, you did awesome. You made your money back and then some, and you have a really rare collectible. And if you're like me and you're buying them aftermarket, it's a tough pill to swallow, but trust me, when you get them in hand, you will really enjoy having them, especially if you get the 2-pack like I did. If you only get one and you got it for a decent price, then that's great. I don't think that you'll necessarily miss the extra accessories that much. But, if you want 2, then the 2-pack is definitely the way to go if you plan to get 2 anyways. Alrighty, folks, so let's talk results. So Luke won accessories because he came with so many accessories, like I said, that I can't even use them all. But the Snowtrooper won Sculpt Detail, and then in my sick little twisted collector's head trying to justify how much money I spent, Snowtrooper won value for the money as well. So the Snowtrooper wins this battle. And again, I think this Luke figure is great. I think if it went up against a majority of other figures in my collection, he probably would have won. But I really just love this Snowtrooper. I think it's great. I love the 2-pack. But even as a standalone figure, even if I didn't have like the bazooka, the rocket launcher or the jetpack, I just think it's such a unique figure. Hot Toys picks and chooses what they make, and the fact that they made Snowtroopers is really cool, and I think it makes it pretty iconic. So in this week's figure matchup, Snowtrooper wins.
On next week's episode of Figure Matchup.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.